Hi, this is JC De Guzman for our daily top 5 gainers and top 5 losers analysis for July 9, 2019, Tuesday. And this is in preparation for the next trading day on Wednesday, July 10th, 2019. I know you are so excited to hear my thoughts, my updates, my recommendations for Cebu Pacific, but that's the 10th stock that I'm going to discuss tonight. But we will get there, so one stock at a time. So for the new subscribers, let me remind you that this video is for short-term trading purposes. Okay, remember that. So let's begin with PHEN. PHEN closed today at 2.36. Your immediate support remains at 2.21. Resistance is at 2.81. Although the 10 SMA and MACD combo is still invalid, I can see here that three of the four signals, three of the 4-point criteria are already present. The VWAP is at 2.35 and the positive DMI already crossed above the negative DMI. So if you cannot wait for the 10 SMA and MACD combo to be validated, we have to make sure that all four points are present before you preempt the 10 SMA and MACD combo. So as I mentioned, three of the 4-point criteria are already present. Let's check on PHEN's trade and volume distribution chart to see if we got four signals that can preempt the 10 SMA and MACD combo. So this is our trade and volume distribution chart. Your dominant range is closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. Therefore, this completes the 4-point criteria to preempt the 10 SMA and MACD combo. The dominant range is between 2.36 all the way to 2.4. Okay, here's the true market sentiment chart of PHEN. This is how it looks like, and this is what it tells us about this true market sentiment. We got a bullish true market sentiment. How did we arrive to that sentiment? 6 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount. On the other hand, 6 of the top 10 brokers also registered a higher buying average than selling average. So that's how we got bullish. The bullish true market sentiment for PHEN. Going back to the chart. So if you'd like to know if I'm going to give you a data-driven recommendation to do a test buy or to preempt our 10 SMA and MACD combination, yes, I saw a data-driven reason to preempt your 10 SMA and MACD combo, which is the presence of the 4-point criteria. If you're going to do that, make sure that you calculate your reward to risk ratio first. But by the looks of the position of the current candlestick with respect to the position of the support and resistance level, I would say that you have a better potential reward than your potential risk. So position within the dominant range. Should PHEN start lower or higher than that dominant range, I highly recommend that you post a request in our private clients forum for the latest trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment charts of this stock. But I am bullish on PHEN. Okay. Next, we have ALCO. ALCO closed today at 1.11. It broke above the resistance at 1.03, therefore making 1.03 as its current support. The next resistance is pegged at 1.71. So I'm curious if a PHEN can break above 1.17. Okay, 1.7 between 1.17 to 1.25. If it breaks below 1.7, if it breaks above 1.17 to 1.25 with the volume maintaining its position, at least higher than the 50% of the stock's 10-day volume average, then I would say that the price will then be more likely to continue its ascent towards the resistance at 1.71. But let's check on the status of the 10 SMA and MACD combination first. Yes, that combo is present. I am seeing a perfect bullish alignment among the three simple moving averages of ALCO. And the three of the 4-point criteria are also present. The VWAP is at 1.06. The upward momentum is very strong, as can be seen by the DMI histogram. RSI, on the other hand, is already close, about 1 or 2 points away from entering the classical overbought level. And that's the reason why I stated a few seconds ago that the ascent in price will be more likely to continue if and only if ALCO can break above 1.17 to 1.25 and maintain its volume at a position that is at least higher than the 50% of ALCO's 10-day volume average. Again, 3 of the 4-point criteria are present. Let's check ALCO's trade and volume distribution chart. So all 4 points are present. The dominant range is between 1.05 rather, all the way to 1.11. That's closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. Now, this is its true market sentiment chart. The statistics of ALCO's true market sentiment chart tell us that we got a neutral sentiment. And how did we arrive to that? 6 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount. On the other hand, 5 of the top 10 brokers registered a higher buying average than selling average. Going back to the chart of ALCO, I would say that I'm still bullish on ALCO. Before you do a test buy, make sure that you calculate your reward to risk ratio with respect to these resistance and support levels that I have plotted. Please consider what I have mentioned regarding the RSI being close to its classical overbought level, and that specific range between 1.17 to 1.25 that ALCO needs to break for me to say that the ascendant price is more likely to continue beyond 1.25, of course. Okay, for those of you who have had ALCO, you have a data-driven reason to do a test buy within that, well, not test buy, but to do a top-up within that dominant range that I have shown you. Make sure that you are on top of your trailing stop loss and do an upward adjustment every time the price registers a higher level than its prevailing price. How do you do an upward adjustment on your trailing stop loss? The formula is in our quick start guide, so please go back to our manual, the quick start guide. I am bullish on ALCO. Next, we have Tech. Tech closed today at 17.30. Apparently it respected the support at 15.88. Okay, 15.88. Your immediate resistance is at 22.10. So despite this registration of a green candlestick, the 10 SMA and MACD combo is not yet validated. If you can't wait for that combo to be validated, all 4 points must be present. Are they present in this case? 3 of the 4-point criteria are present. VWAP is at 16.79. Let's take a look at the trade and volume distribution chart of Tech. So this is how it looks like. The closing price of 17.30, with respect to that level, I would say that the dominant range is between 17 to 17.30. That's closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. The true market sentiment chart of Tech looks like this. The statistics of Tech tell us that we get a neutral sentiment. How did we arrive to that? 7 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount, whereas 5 of the top 10 brokers registered a higher buying average than selling average. Going back to Tech's daily chart, I would say that Tech seemed to have found its psychological bottom at 15.88. That was the time when RSI was playing inside the oversold level. So it seems to me that traders translated 15.88 as a price level whereby tech is already too cheap to be ignored. So what does this mean? Do I see a data-driven reason to do a test buy despite the absence of the validation of our 10 SMA and MACD combination? Yes, I do. That's the presence of the 4-point criteria. We can preempt the 10 SMA and MACD combo, but we have to consider tech going against our forecast or expectations. So we have to be on top of our trailing stop loss. Okay, trailing stop loss. Do not forget to calculate that. We have to be expert as well when it comes to selling and not just when it comes to buying. Okay, there you go for my recommendation for tech. Next, we have CA. So CA closed today at the 98.9. The acting support, the main support is still at 66.7, but we can translate 94.20 as its immediate support. Resistance is seated at 133.84 or 85. Okay, so the 10 SMA and MACD combo is still not validated. Let's see if the 4-point criteria are already present. First, VWAP is at 98.7. So 3 of the 4-point criteria are already present. Let's check on CA's trade and volume distribution chart. So here you go. With respect to its closing price of 98.9, I would say that the dominant range today is between here 98.9 all the way to 100 pesos per share. 98.9 to 100. So if and when CA starts at the opening bell either lower or higher than this range, please request for these stocks latest trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment charts in our private clients forum. Speaking of the true market sentiment chart, this is how it looks like for CA. Statistics tell us that the true market sentiment is neutral. 7 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount. 5 of the top 10 brokers registered a higher buying average than selling average. So that makes a neutral sentiment for CA. Okay, so if we're going to do a test buy by preempting our 10 SMA and MACD combo because the 4-point criteria are present, we have to do it within the dominant range that I have shown you. Okay, be conservative, however. Okay, be conservative because the 10 SMA and MACD combo has not been validated yet. Okay, just do a test buy, never go all in. Next, after CA, we have PRIM. It closed today at 1.62. The immediate support is at 1.5. Resistance is at 1.83. The 10 SMA and MACD combination is alive. The 3 of the 4-point criteria are present. The VWAP is at 1.59. The upward momentum remains strong for PRIM. The RSI is quite distant from the classical overbought level. Let's check PRIM's trade and volume distribution chart to verify if the 4-point criteria are present. So here, with respect to its closing price of 1.62, I would say that the dominant range is between 1.57 to, actually it looks like between 1.55 to 1.62. It's almost like the entire graph for today. But if we're going to consider the length of these volume and trade bars, I would say that it's still closer. It's still in favor of the buyers more than the sellers. So that's still bullish for PRIM. For the true market sentiment chart, this is how it looks like. The statistics tell us that we get a neutral sentiment also. 5 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount. 6 of the top 10 brokers registered a higher buying average than selling average. Going back to the chart of PRIM, I would say that if you have had PRIM, you have some data-driven reasons to top up within the dominant range that I have mentioned. If you're going to enter a new position, considering this support and resistance levels, these levels that I have mentioned, you're going to get a better potential reward than your potential risk. So go ahead and do a test buy if you would like to, but be just stick to your trailing stop loss just in case PRIM decides to consider a technical correction and change its direction from going northward to the southward direction. Okay, but I'm still bullish on PRIM. Next in our list, we have ISM. ISM dove today at 6.07. Support is at 5.56. Resistance is at 7.36. The 10 SMA and MACD combo unfortunately has already been invalidated. Let's not even check the 4-point criteria because we already see a red candlestick here. Foreign investors registered an 11.2 million pesos worth of net foreign selling today. RSI is going towards the classical oversold level. For what it's worth, let me show you ISM's trade and volume distribution chart. So here you go. So the dominant range is between 6 pesos all the way to 6.4. 6 pesos to 6.4. That's closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. This is the true market sentiment chart of ISM. Statistics tell us that we get a neutral true market sentiment. How did we arrive to that? Five of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount, but only 4 of the top 10 brokers registered a higher buying average than selling average. So neutral market sentiment. My recommendation is that you should respect your trailing stop loss. Do I see a data-driven reason to preempt your trailing stop loss? Yes, I do. So lock in some of your profits. For those of you who have been trading ISM since April this year, please lock in your profits now. Sell a few tranches if you don't want to sell everything in one go. If you are planning to enter a new position, please do not buy or enter a new position yet. Okay, on PRIM. So I am bearish on PRIM. So here's my recommendation for. Yeah, I already gave my recommendation for ISM. Did I mention PRIM a while back? Should be ISM. Okay, next we have Chelsea. Okay, for Chelsea, it closed today at 8.15 and the support is at 7.18. Resistance is at 8.94. For the status of our 10 SMA and MACD combo is it's already invalidated. Okay, it's already invalidated, and RSI, upon inching closer towards the classical oversold level, it seemed to have found its selling area near 8.9 to 9 peso per share. So it's getting bearish now. That seems to be a profit-taking level for Chelsea. Okay, now let me show you Chelsea's trade and volume distribution chart. So with respect to the closing price of 8.15, I would say that the dominant range is between 8.15 towards 8.4. 8.15 to 8.4. If and when it starts at a price lower or higher than this range, again, please post a request for Chelsea's latest trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment charts in our private clients forum. This is Chelsea's true market sentiment chart. Statistics tell us that there is a neutral market sentiment for Chelsea. 1 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount, but 5 of the top 10 brokers registered a higher buying average than selling average. So I'm not yet convinced that these the majority of the brokers are buying the dips. Chelsea can get lower than this. So please hold your position. Let me make that clear. If you are planning to enter a new trade on Chelsea, postpone that plan. If you have had Chelsea and you would like to ask me if there's a data-driven reason for you to top up, no, I don't see that data-driven reason for you to top up. If it's still moving above your trailing stop loss, hold your position. Do not top up. Actually, you're better off selling a few tranches by preempting your trailing stop loss. Lock in some of your profits already. Okay, that's it for Chelsea. Next, we have ABA. ABA Core closed today at 0.93. It already broke below its support at 0.94 by one fluctuation. So the standing support is now at 0.69. The acting resistance is at 0.94. Should it go back above 0.94, 1.09 will act as the immediate resistance. The 10 SMA and MACD combo has already been invalidated. Your 10 SMA is already trading below the signal line. VWAP is at 0.94. RSI, well, this is already going towards the southward direction. Profit taking became the dominant sentiment when RSI touched the classical oversold or overbought level at near 1.10. That was last week. So this is Abacor's trade and volume distribution chart. The dominant range here is between 0.93 to 0.97. It's in favor of the sellers. This is its true market sentiment. On the other hand, statistics tell us that we got a neutral sentiment again. 3 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount. 6 of the top 10 brokers registered a higher buying average than selling average. My overall sentiment for Abacor remains bearish. What does that mean for those who have had Abacor, and if your trailing stop loss is still, or if the current price is still moving above your trailing stop loss? What does that mean to you? I would suggest that you either hold your position or sell a few tranches by preempting your trailing stop loss. Lock in your profits. If you have had Abacor since May, okay, or maybe up until April, okay, up all the way to April rather. So now, what if you don't have Abacor and you are considering entering a new position? My suggestion is that you monitor Abacor for now. Postpone that plan. If you can't wait for the 10 SMA and MACD combination to appear once again, at least, please, wait for the 4-point criteria. Okay? It's better to be safe than sorry, especially if you are a newbie trader. Okay? So next, after Abacor, we have GSMI. GSMI closed today at 54.75. Support is at 44.45. Resistance is at 63.7. The 10 SMA and MACD combination, unfortunately, is no longer active. The positive and the negative DMIs already interchanged positions, with the negative DMI moving above the positive one. RSI is already continues to move towards the southward direction after hitting the classical overbought level last week. Actually, 63.7 was regarded as a profit-taking level for GSMI. So before I give my recommendation, let's take a look at GSMI's trade and volume distribution chart. So the dominant range is obviously between 54.2 towards 55.1. That's closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. This is GMI's true market sentiment chart. On the other hand, statistics tell us that we got a bearish true market sentiment. 4 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount, but only 4 of the top 10 brokers registered a higher buying average than selling average. Here's my recommendation if you have had GSMI between April to May, and if it's still trading above your trailing stop loss. It's either you hold your position but do not top up, or sell a few tranches, means to say that means locking in some of your profits. Yes, I see a data-driven reason for you to preempt your trailing stop loss. What's that data-driven reason? This tall red volume bar. Okay, so there you go. For those of you who are planning to enter a new position, no, it's not yet the time. At least wait for the appearance of the 4-point criteria before you decide to do a test buy. But of course, do not forget, there's an extra level or process that you need to do, and that is the calculation of your reward to risk ratio. New entrants always have an extra process that needs to be done. It's the calculation of the reward to risk ratio. Okay, memorize that. Okay, last in our list we have Cebu Pacific. This is what you have been waiting for. Yes, so Cebu Pacific, because of a fat finger transaction. What is fat finger transaction? Someone made a mistake, may have pressed two different buttons at the same time. Okay, so it closed today at 58 pesos per share. Well, for me, the acting support is still over here. This is the realistic support, 84.74, not lower than 61 or lower than 60. So expect Cebu Pacific to go back to its above the 90 level, price point. It will go back from where it left off today. Okay, so what does this mean again? What happened today? The It plunged today, it dove today, not because there was a fundamental change in the finances or management of Cebu Pacific. No, this was purely a human error on the side of one broker. Which broker? Okay, that's what I'm going to show you next. But the resistance is still at 93 pesos per share. Should it broke above 93 pesos per share, the next resistance would be at 103.4. All right. So there. So another proof that this was just caused by a human error is the lack of a significant participation from the foreign investors. So they just snubbed that drop in price. Okay, they did not join the panic selling or anything like that. So I know you're excited. So let me show you who's that broker. Who's that broker? Okay, let's pray for that broker. Someone's head must have rolled on the floor a few hours ago already. Okay, for Cebu Pacific, the dominant range is between, not really at 58. Well, it is at the 58, but that was just because of a human error. So here's another proof. Let me show you several proof. See this one. 46% of the volume was registered at 58. The price point at 58, but the number of trades is only at 9.7. Okay? The dominant range is really between 92.4 all the way to 92.55. Anyhow, that's still closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. I repeat, 92.4 to 92.55. If and when Cebu Pacific starts at a price lower or higher than that range, please post a request for the stock's latest trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment charts in our private clients forum. Okay, it's time for the true market sentiment chart. Who's that broker? Who's the culprit? Quality Investment and Securities. Yeah, hey, that's the broker. Okay, it sold how much? 5.5 million pesos worth of Cebu Pacific shares at 58. I presume the intention was to sell at 80, maybe not 88, or not really at 88. Let's revisit the uh, uh, trade and volume. So it left off at 92 pesos and above. So I suggest that you position tomorrow at the opening bell between 92.4 or 92 to 92.50, 92 to 92.6. Should it start lower or higher than that range, I would suggest that you request for the stock's latest trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment chart in our private clients forum. The true market sentiment chart is this, and statistics tell us that we got a neutral market sentiment. 5 of the top 10 brokers registered a positive net amount. On the other hand, only 4 of the top 10 brokers registered a higher buying average and selling average. So even without this mistake of quality investment securities broker, I would say that the dominant range would still be closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. Okay, now does it mean we're not going to you're not going to top up on Cebu Pacific if you have the stock? Well, I still see some data driven reasons for you to top up if the price is still trading above your trailing stop loss. But if it's not if you're just planning to enter a new position, I would suggest that you wait for the appearance of the 4-point criteria. So in this case, they're not yet perfectly present because the dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. So there you go for my technical analysis for these 10 stocks today. Don't be alarmed by what happened with Cebu Pacific today. It will go back to the 90-ish and above tomorrow. Okay, there's nothing so alarming about it. If it wasn't a human error, you would know why. Foreign investors would register a huge net foreign selling amount, but they did not. So relax, okay? Just pray for that guy who pressed the wrong buttons. Okay, there you go for my technical analysis for today. My name is JC De Guzman. Those who are from Cebu, I'll see you on Saturday. If you are subscribed for 1 year at Equilist Analytics, you can buy your ticket at 50% discount. Let's talk about the evergreen strategy in trading the Philippine stock market on Saturday, this coming Saturday. See you then. Bye for now.